was nothing that escalated this. We merely stopped and asked for information.
UNLV law student Emily Driscoll told me Metro police officers targeted and arrested her while she was a legal observer at Saturday's protest. One of her roles, take down the name and birth date of people who get detained to help keep track of them.
At no point during the night did an officer give me that information.
She said she tried asking officers again near Russell and Frank Sinatra.
From the sidewalk, I stopped and I asked the police, can I get the information of that detainee?
She told me one of the officers who refused to give her the same information earlier pointed at her and another legal observer and said,
that's them. They said, get them. We were then put in zip ties.
4 individual officers grabbed my client, put her hands behind her back, did not inform her what she was being charged with, transported her down to the Clark County Detention Center, did not book her because they could not figure out what to charge her with, and then ultimately, and I would say randomly, came up with the charge of pedestrian in a roadway.
Driscoll's attorney David Figler says she was clearly identified and on the sidewalk. Sheriff Joe Lombardo released this body camera video of a different legal observer getting arrested. He said some of them were antagonizing police.
One of the legal observers shoved her cell phone camera up to an officer's face in a confrontational manner. Another legal observer left the median divider and approached a police vehicle and leans into the window, seemingly leading a crowd of aggressive protesters. In both videos, they were in front of the protesters, actively participating, not observing.
Lombardo said officers issued several dispersal orders before this arrest and Driscoll's in a different area. Driscoll told me officers kept telling protesters to go one way, but then police tanks would block the road. She said protesters had nowhere to go, and that's when officers started shooting pepper bullets and detaining people.
They were not gentle. I saw an 18-year-old girl who was probably about 120 pounds get dragged across the pavement.
Lombardo said they were trying to prevent protesters from going up the I-15, so officers gave one dispersal order instead of 3.
The need of you and concern for safety of both the officers and the pedestrians and the protesters and the vehicles on the roadway. So you have an exceptions to every rule.
We are hoping that instead of doubling down and trying to justify these outrageous actions of firing upon peaceful protesters and corralling them with ambiguous dispersal orders while they're moving, that they apologize.